Here's my personal testimonial of my experience going to CPI, Cellular Performance Institute. I went to Tijuana back in April, and I was inspired by conversations from the Joe Rogan podcast, various UFC fighter testimonials, and the fact that my wife was recently treated there. I went down there with her as a companion. So while I was there, I decided to get an MRI on a couple of injuries that I was addressing, some lingering pain in my knee and my shoulder. My goal was to eliminate, of course, the discomfort and get back to the activities that I love doing. In fact, triathlon and jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, is actually where I actually hurt myself. Now, the actual procedure was pretty straightforward. You can call it a procedure, just injections. It lasted 2 minutes. I actually timed it on my Garmin watch. I was like, okay, I know I've been people to tell me about the knee and the shoulder pain. So how long will it take? So it was actually less than 2 minutes from the moment I walked in the room and the injections I got. So I got 20 million stem cells in my knee, 30 million in my shoulder. So it was 4 injections, I think, total. It was painful, but manageable, thanks to the medication they provided after the fact. Post-procedure, my knee felt slightly swollen, but it was pain-free. My shoulder was quite sore, though. It was a scale of 1 to 10, I think it was a 5. It felt like someone had punched me in the deltoid afterwards. That's how the soreness felt afterwards. They also provide additional services as part of the package. There was blood work, an EKG, MRI, IV ozone, NAD+, Apatone, 3 sessions in the hyperbaric chamber, which were cool. So now I'm focusing on the 90-day recovery process. Physical, minimal activity involved here for me. I think I'm at 5 or 6 weeks post right now. And it's just really frustrating not to be able to work out hard, but the stem cells need to mature before you can get back into activity. And one of the analogies was, imagine that you had arthroscopic surgery in your knee and there was incisions involved. That's how you should treat these injections. So even though you feel good, even after a couple of weeks, you can't get back at it. You have to let this thing heal. And I've had some what they call flare-ups in my knee, where my knee got swollen, and it wasn't due to anything in particular, just they called it a flare-up. And it was really difficult to walk for 5 to 6 days. And then it went away. It went away happily. My shoulder has had some tightness and soreness every once in a while. Problem is, I've got 2 young kids, and so, whether it's picking them up, playing with them, or running around, it's kind of hard not to use my body like I normally do with my knees and my shoulders. So that's been the hardest part for me, is just taking the physical activity down a notch and keeping my heart rate down, avoiding intense workouts, paying close attention to my diet so the stem cells can be the most effective. They say optimism is very key, because after 90 days, then you can start slowly getting back into what you used to do. And if it feels good, I will go back into jiu-jitsu sometime after 90 days, sometime in August, hopefully. If you're considering stem cell therapy, my advice is simple. Do your research, talk to people who have done it, who've undergone the treatment, maintain some realistic expectations, understand it is expensive, but there are lots of good results, and they have a 6-month return policy that you can come back down for free and get additional, I think it's 30 million stem cells. I think it might be an IV procedure there, but they want to take an MRI and see the results. They're looking for good data. They're looking for the data to support their research and the results. But overall, the experience is very positive both times. And if you have any questions for me about it, I'd be happy to tell you. in the comment section or make a follow-up video. But it was real straightforward. Flew down to San Diego. They picked you up at the airport the next morning, drove you across the border in a van. Well, a dozen people or so in the van. They've got a medical pass, I guess it is. They take you to the hotel, check in. I think we may have gone to the CPI's hospital day one. And then every single day while you're there, you have your own dedicated chair. They bring you the most amazing, healthy food you can think of. So IVs every day. Those IVs, they do blood work, of course. IVs to the ozone, NAD+, Apatone, really healthy stuff. Takes quite a while though. So bring a laptop, bring your phone, bring something to read, because there are long days of sitting there hooked up to an IV. But they bring you food and it's fine. You can talk to anybody, but you're kind of hooked up. And they take you back to the hotel. The first night, Monday night, is a group dinner. This is before the stem cell injections. A big, beautiful group dinner. The owners are there. They tell you about what to expect, which most people already know what to expect. A lot of return visitors. And the return visitors are on a different floor. I don't know if that's a 5th floor for new stem cell injections. I think 4th floor was people on their 6-month revisit. I don't know why they separate them. That was Monday night, great dinner. And then I think Wednesday was my injections, but they're prepping you the whole week. And then after the injections, there was follow-ups the next day with pain medications day of. Next day, you speak with a doctor. There's no rush talking to the doctor. And they show you the MRI results in detail. I never felt rushed. It was so great. You know how in America, you go to a doctor's visit, and it's like, first of all, you're waiting 30 minutes after your appointment. Well, this one, hey, time to go see your doctor. You sit and you talk in your room. You go over it, answer every question you possibly could have, and you go back out to your chair, and you finish out your day. You talk about the post-recovery, all the steps you need to take, and then they set you up on a WhatsApp group text with all the people who are there with you that week. So you can chat back and forth with them. They have questions. And that's where I kind of learned about some of my flare-ups. Like, why is my knee flaring up? I didn't really do anything. Other people experience the same thing, told me, hey, 5-6 days, it'll go away. It did. And then they send you surveys. Send me a survey like every couple of weeks. I've already had 3 surveys. How are things going? What's the pain level? How's your recovery? How you feeling? Any questions you have for us? They're super available. It's really great. I mean, customer service is top of the line, 5 stars. I love it. I'm looking forward, both my wife and I going back in 6 months at our 6-month timeline, may go back even again for follow-up service. Anyway, it's a journey worth experiencing, exploring, and investing in yourself. So if you don't even have to be like an athlete. I know they have a lot of UFC fighters, professional athletes that go down there to fix nagging injuries, because it's about fixing soft tissue problems, whether it's tears, those kind of things. And people have some really great results, and results they didn't even know they're going to need, or results they didn't know that they were going to get on something else. They can find, did you know that you had this issue? Well, now it's gone because we've seen the before and after on the MRI results. It was great. Anyhow, I went to CPI and I loved it. I love the experience overall. The recovery is just difficult because I've got to be patient. I can't get out there and start running again, start lifting. Unfortunately for me, it's right knee, right shoulder. So it's not like I can just work out my lower body. This is limiting me on other different activities as well. Going into cold tubs, that kind of thing, or saunas. I have to hold off on that for 90 days, which is really frustrating. So I'm gaining weight because I'm not as active as I used to. That's why there's a bigger focus on diet during these first 90 days. That is my testimonial from CPI. I would Recommend it 100%. Again, leave me questions below, and I'd be happy to give you any additional information based on your questions. Thanks for watching. Looking for a great at-home sauna at a great price? Get 5% off any indoor or outdoor sauna, cold plunge, or infrared sauna from Almost Heaven with my discount code DAVE 5% off at checkout. For over 40 years, Almost Heaven saunas have been trusted as the top American home sauna manufacturer. Almost Heaven saunas deliver high-quality products and firmly stands behind the holistic benefits the sauna brings to your mind and your body. Again, get 5% off any order with my discount code DAVE 5% off at almostheaven.com. There's also a direct link below this video.